Natasha, thank you so much for organizing this. And then, as it turned out, Christy organized the rest of us to get together and to be here today. So thank you very much. I am Michael Capiello. I'm the president of the New York State chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. It's been a lot of fun for me to look across the screen and see other members of your board of directors and other friends from around the city and state. Particularly, you're going to be hearing from David Adams a little bit later. I see he is here, who from the Urban Assembly, Social Emotional Learning, and Raul Garcia, who is with us, who is our chapter leader here in New York City for the United Federation of Teachers. So thank you for the introduction. I am Michael Capiello. I'm serving right now as the president of the New York State chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. And I also happen to be a member of the School Social Workers of America and a member of the New York State School Social Workers, and also a member of the UFT chapter for school social workers and psychologists in New York City, which has an affiliation across the state of New York with the New York State Teachers, United Teachers. And for those of you who don't know me, I practice right in New York City in District 75, which is the special education district in New York that serves over 20,000 students with IEPs in specialized schools and programs very similar to our statewide BOCES system. For our friends who are joining us from Long Island all the way out to Buffalo, all the way up to the Canadian border. So we cover a big population all across the state. My specialty practice is with complex trauma and with students who have been classified as emotionally disturbed. Classification that I think raises a lot of eyebrows for us, and I think it's an area that we're going to be focusing on. So within the DOE, I would encourage you, if you're in New York City, to sign up for the Implicit Bias Awareness workshops, which are offered by the Office of Equity and Access, which are free. And I know that Equity and Access is looking to provide continuing education credits that would be offered right here within the school system. And after you take the Implicit Bias workshop, I would encourage you to take the next one, which is Decolonizing Therapy, which is offered within New York City schools. And it was then that I started really giving deeper thought to the classification systems that we have of emotional disturbance and how we provide counseling services to our students. In what ways does our practice of counseling and advocating for students and clients cause oppression? How can we improve our therapeutic interventions with anti-oppression in mind? I want to also take an opportunity to invite all of you and the other professional associations, some of you have taken us up on this offer, to attend the New York State chapter's revitalization of the profession. We have hundreds of social workers participating across the state, city, United States, and even internationally, and we're offering it free. And I have been really encouraged because SWA is adopting this in their own strategic planning nationally, coming to our sessions, replicating it within their own professional association all across the United States. And we also are hosting what's called Revolution, the Revolution for Social Work. And it's another initiative looking at the work even within across the state. And in that work, it's the revitalization work has three core actions. And in the first one is acknowledging the history and current ways that white supremacy and racism exist within our own practice, within social work practice. 2, creating goals to achieve a racially just profession. 3, to develop an implementation of action plan and action groups to achieve our goals. The work is informed and led by BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, social workers here in New York. We invite all social workers to attend these meetings and work groups. It will take social workers from all membership groups and all geographic locations to change the profession. The work groups are led by BIPOC social workers, and it's imperative that this work is led by the people who have been left out of the profession in a variety of ways. Many white social workers have reached out to NASW asking us, how can I support anti-racism work? This initiative is a great way to practice allyship, which has been my role during this initiative, which was organized by a BIPOC student member of our board of directors who is currently a graduate student at Columbia University. And I'm proud to be an ally in this work. And there are many times where our students are really pushing us and leading the work and really encouraging us who have been practicing for years to take a look at things in new ways. Another area related to school social work practice that we're working on is an extension of telehealth and remote platforms for providing school social work and counseling services into the future. We are reaching traditionally marginalized people all over the state, all over the country, using video platforms that are HIPAA compliant. We're hearing stories of school social workers all over the state getting very creative with technology, and we're hearing of continued efforts to engage families by phone, and many of you continue to do socially distanced wellness checks in your local communities. This is the value of school social worker. This is the value of school social workers. And as many of you know, the theme for Social Work Month for NASW is social workers are essential. We know you're essential, and your professional associations, we're telling your stories all across the state and country. For me personally, after working in mental health settings for the first 10 years of my practice and then moving into the public schools over the last 10 years, I've seen the difference that just one school social worker can make in a school building. And I applaud the efforts of the New York State School Social Work Association to continue to fight for the Ortiz bill to bring a school social worker to every building in the state and city of New York. I also was really enjoying the School Social Workers of America, their theme this year, Beacons of Hope. And we know school social workers are a beacon of hope in every community. We're the champion for social emotional learning. We're the champions for positive behavior interventions and supports, response to intervention, crisis intervention services, and of course, just the traditional link to families and communities all across the state, city, and country. As you heard from my introduction, I'm a joiner, and I'm active in each of our professional associations and the unions because we want change. And over the next year, I'll be co-chairing a national committee to update school social work practices across the country. We invite your feedback. As the other groups have said, please consider being a member of all of the associations if you can. We know that's a stretch, but be active in your union. Be active in your professional associations in every way that you can. And on behalf of the National Association of Social Workers and as a fellow school social worker, I wish you a happy Social Work Month, a happy School Social Work Week, and please know that each of you are essential.